What's up with you? For today's video, with a full new evolution Pokemon team. These are Pokemon from previous generations that got new evolutions in Scarlet and Violet. So we had Dundunsparce and Dundunsparce with the Hyper Drill. We had the Primate to Annihilape with the Rage Fist 20 times. We had the Podard to the Kingambit after defeating 3 of the Bishop with the Leader's Crest. And then we had Farigiraf for Giraffe Rig knowing the Twin Beam. So some pretty cool Pokemon evolutions there and ways for them to evolve too. So I've got 3 battles today with this team. First battle, this one was against Eggy. This is a battle, random one on the Poke Portal. So we got a Tatsugiri lead here, and I've got my Kingambit lead. Now, this team obviously was only 4 Pokemon, which made it a pretty good challenge. So this was actually a pretty funny battle, actually. So Tatsugiri is going to go for a Scummy Water, and I went for Guillotine. It landed turn 1. You wouldn't read about it, but the Pokemon had a Focus Sash. I was like, oh, come on. So now I've actually got to land it again. So the cool thing about actually having a one-hit KO move, they're not actually affected by anything like, accuracy drops from Muddy Water or Scummy Water in this case. So anyway, let me explain this set. We got a Max Health, Max Special Defense, Apricot Berry Kingambit. Ability is going to be Pressure. We got Guillotine, Rest, Sleep, Talker, and Iron Defense. So this thing was insanely bulky after the Iron Defensive boost, and with the Apricot Berry, that actually gives it a Special Defense rise of 1 at a quarter or less health. So quite an interesting set. It's a troll set, but it was pretty fun to use there. So what I wanted to do, I didn't really want to swap out because let's face it, it only had 1 health left, and I felt like I could land a fissure on this. Sorry, not a fissure, a Guillotine. I'm getting my one-hit KO moves messed up there. So anyway, people, question of the day here. If there's an older Pokemon in a generation that could evolve, what would you like to see? Let me know about it in the comment section of the video. It could be any Pokemon from an older generation. I'm trying to think of one on the spot here. Maybe maybe Milk Tank. That'd be pretty cool. Maybe you could get some more others. So the next Pokemon here is going to be the little Revival Blessing Spam Pokemon. And of course, the Tatsugiri did get one shot of there on 1 health. You'll never ever see that again. So we got a Terra Electric here for the Pawmon. Now, I'm pretty certain it's going to use its signature move there, Double Shock on my Kingambit, or King Toilet, as some people like to call it. I never would. And here it comes, people. It's going to do a lot of damage. I actually managed to live that one quite well, and now I'm going to be eating my Apricot Berry. Unfortunately, in this matchup, it's not really going to matter at all, and my Guillotine, unfortunately, is going to miss the Pawmon, but I was pretty happy about landing 2 of them against a Tatsugiri there. So that's the end of my Kingambit, but don't worry, it will return in all of these battles for some massive trolling. Now, the next Pokemon is going to be Farigiraf. So, Farigiraf is a pretty cool Pokemon. This is my Agility, Twin Beam, Nasty Plot, and Swift set. It's a little bit of a troll set, but it is pretty fun to use. Now, I made a massive mistake when I actually got this set ready. I was like, I presumed it had the Armor Tail ability, right? But unfortunately, it didn't. It actually still had Kudzu, so I was under the assumption that I did have Armor Tail. So just bear that one in mind throughout this video. So in comes Dondozo. It's going to go for a Wave Crash here. It does a lot of damage, but I am a pretty thick set. So this is Max Health, and I've got Max Special Attack, right? And it is like a bulky, speedy set. So I've got Twin Beam, Agility, Nasty Plot, and Swift there. Now, I tried to give it really weak moves, and I tried to also include the move that, was actually tied in with the evolution too. Unfortunately, there, Dondozo is going to end me because it's such a bulky Pokemon. It only lived on 1 health too, but, it's always 1 health with me. I don't know what it is. So that was my Farigiraf set. It also had King's Rock as the item. Next Pokemon is going to be Dundunsparce. So this Pokemon is going to be my physical sweeper. We got Max Attack and Max Speed, Atom and Nature. Now, this set was all based around trying to flinch the opponent and cause a little bit of assault. So we've got Hyper Drill. Now, Hyper Drill is a normal type move, and that busts through protection. It's 100 base power too, so it's pretty strong. So I'm going to go for a Terra Ghost Astonish. Now, this is pretty astonishing. Now, the thing about this is, not only can you get some nice disrespect KOs like that one right there, you can go for body slam too. So you got the body slam with the Serene Grace, right? So you go for those paralysis, and then you go for Astonish. You got like flinches and paralyzes, and it's pretty fun. And with the Terror Ghost, it actually makes Astonish somewhat viable. Well, actually, no. Astonish is never going to be viable, but it makes it hit a little bit harder than what it would. So this Clodsai, he was getting flinched left, right, and center. He was getting like flinched at all angles, So I got a crit there, and unfortunately, it managed to get a Toxic off against me. But I did do a lot of damage to it. Now, the set that I was running here was like obviously a full flinching set. The other move I ran here was Rock Slide. We have Body Slam for paralysis, Astonish for flinching, and Hyper Drill. Well, I kept the move on there because that's what this team is all about with the evolution and stuff like that. Now, I've got the item as Assault Vest, and I've got max attack and max speed. I think I already mentioned that one, but yeah, it's more of an offensive set. Now, the problem about this was it was a Dig and Toxic Clodsai, so it was a definite stalling troll set. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to go into my Annihilape here. Now, this Annihilape set was a little bit of a meme, but it still actually ran the Rage Fist. Let me bring this up here. Now, this set was max health and max speed, Jolly Nature. So I've got Rage Fist, Endure, Reversal, and Curse. So I'm going to be going for a Rage Fist here. I did actually get hit already from the Clodsai, and that is going to be taken. Clodsai looks kind of small there. Do you think that was a mini Clodsai, like in the size? I don't know. Next Pokemon is going to be Full Moon here. The worst thing you want to see in real life is when someone does a Full Moon. Now, it's going to have the boost energy, and it's going to be probably going for Acrobatics. It seems like the more standardy, set there. Acrobatics was going to absolutely destroy the rest of my team. However, I've got the Salic Berry as the item here. So Endure is going to allow me to live on 1 health. Salic Berry is going to give me a really much needed boost in speed. Now I can go for a fully powered reversal, and that is the end of the Full Moon there, which is good. Like, if I didn't have that Salic Berry reversal combination, I was done. Next Pokemon is going to be the Pawbot we seen earlier on here. Now what I can do is go for the Rage Fist, because, with Endure and Rage Fist, it is, it's a pretty smart combination there. You know what I mean? You get that 50 base power for every hit, and it tops up at 6, and it's a lot of base power, right? Last Pokemon I got is going to be Blue Pearl. Or is it I think it was Blue Pearl. Oh, Blue Pearl. It's going to be Quagsire. Quagsire eats it like a snack, and now it's going to be taking me out with a Earthquake. I actually thought I'd faint that. I guess since I wasn't running any attack EVs, Quagsire was, bulky enough to live that. Next Pokemon is going to be my Quagsire. Not my Quagsire, my Dundunsparce. And the Dundunsparce is going to take out the Quagsire with a Hyper Drill. And that's the end of the first battle there against Eggy. Eggy, whoever you are, thank you for the battle. That's a pretty nice trainer card too. It's like Titan, baby Titan just staring into the abyss. Now, the next trainer here, this is a battle against Alex. And we've got a Lycan Rock lead. Now, this is really where my Armor Tail ability would have come into shine, and that's sort of how this set's meant to work too, but I didn't check it. I just presumed it was that. So we've got the Agility here. Now, with Agility, that's going to make me go first, and when you use the move Agility, the opponent then has to get around you with priority moves, so it would have come in really, really handy with this Cell Rock set, but okay, it is what it is, right? You can roast with that one. So now I'm going to go for a Twin Beam here. Twin Beam actually hits twice, hence the name Twin Beam. And fun fact too, I'm actually a twin. So we're going to take out the Lycanroc, and that's a pretty good start. Next Pokemon is Baskin. Now, I'm not sure why they call their Pokemon You Know What I Am. I don't understand. If anyone can get a reference, let me know, but I have no idea whatsoever. Now, Basculin is going to be a Terror Water, so it's going to be using some sort of powerful water type move, and it uses Aqua Jet. You wouldn't read about it. The only time I didn't have Armor Tail on my set, like, that's 2 priority Pokemon, like, back to back, you know what I'm saying? So, unfortunately, it's going to be having a Focus Sash. Another Pokemon lives on 1 health, and that is the end of Farigiraf. But, yeah, I'm chalking it up 100% my fault there. Next we got is the Dundunsparce. I'm going to go for the Hyper Drill here, and it's got Endeavor. I'm like, oh, I should have gone, instead of going for Swift earlier on, I should have just gone for Twin Beam. That was completely 100% my fault there. I am going to get roasted for that. Next Pokemon is going to be Donphan. Donphan is going to be shiny. It's like an orange shiny color. And Donphan, another priority move? Like, look at this. Like, all three Pokemon have got priority moves. Next Pokemon is going to be King Toilet, and I got to make something happen, but I'm a little bit worried here because I'm like, this might have Sturdy, and it did. I'm like, no. All I've got left is one other Pokemon. It is this battle's been nothing but a disaster. So now Donphan's going to go for a rapid spin. It's going to spin right round, and I'm going to go into Annihilape. So this is really my only hope here. So I'm going to take a little bit of Stealth Rock damage. Ice Shard is going to do nothing to me at all. It's actually going to build up my Rage Fist. So I took a little bit of a risk here. I thought, you know what? I've got nothing left to lose here. I'm going to go for the Curse. Now, since I am a Ghost type here, Curse is going to affect me different. So I'm going to lose half my health, and I'm going to get that Celic Berry. Now, I'm thinking here, judging on the damage that old elephant over here did to me earlier on, I should just be able to live it. I did on 4 health. It was really, really close. I went for the Rage Fist here. I'm like, yeah, that should be enough to take out. Brilliant, right? But the Donphan's got a Rocky Helmet. Come on. I just can't catch a break this battle. I simply can't catch a break. So that's the end of the Annihilape there. All I've got left is King Toilet, and I got to make something happen here. So the last Pokemon I think they've got here is going to be Pawmon, another Pawmon, and I think this is this is a 4v4. So now they're going to clap my cheeks there. I mean, it's pretty appropriate. I'm out on the toilet, and I'm going to go for the Terra Steel. So the reason I ran this as Terra Steel was, Steel's a pretty good type, just normal Steel, and since it wasn't, obviously Dark and Steel anymore, it wouldn't be 4 times weak to any fighting type moves there, which of course Pawmon can easily have. Now, Pawmon is going to go for Revival Blessing there. And it brought back the Basculin. It was quite hard to actually know that one because they had all the... Wait, that's why they did it. That's why they call them all the same name, so they can confuse the opponent on what Pokemon was brought left. That's actually really smart. Wait, there's no way you... Maybe you could have guessed if you looked at their team. I think if you look what team was there, you might be able to guess. But I think that's what they were going for there. Sort of just struck me then. Anyway, so in comes Basculin, and it gets turned into Sushi. Next Pokemon is a Pawmon. We've already seen this one before. It's going to go for a Mach Punch. Good thing that I am running just a normal like Steel here, just not like Dark and Steel, and I actually managed to go for a Iron Defense here. I know it's a bit of a risky play, but for me to take repeated attacks, I thought I really did need that. So thanks to my Iron Defense here and all the bulk that I invested in this set with Max Health, I managed to live that, which is really cool, and now Bishop is going to get back to full health here. Now this is a little bit of a disaster here, so the battle is going to have to be sped up a fair bit. So during this time, I went for a classic PIMPNITE rest sleep combination here, and I kept getting rest over and over again. Now I got rest so many times in a row, I actually forgot that I woke up and I accidentally pressed Sleep Talk in this matchup here. So I went for a couple of guillotines here, both of them missed of course, and then I went back to sleep. So I kept going for the rest and Sleep Talk in hopes that I could land the guillotine on this little Pawmon, right? Because I only had X amount to use there, then I had to rely on Sleep Talk fully. I had to make sure I left one of them left there so I could take the Pawmon out. So I went for the Sleep Talk here, and I kept getting Iron Defenses over and over again, which wasn't all that bad, because that actually made the Mach Punch kind of weak. That was the part where I actually did Sleep Talk there instead of going for the rest. So actually, I was pretty tired at this point in the game. I think it was about 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, if I can remember correctly. So anyway, we're getting to this point now. I'm going for the, this was unbelievable. I went for the Sleep Talk here on the Pawmon, and I was hoping for that guillotine, and finally it landed, and that is going to be enough to take it out, right? You thought wrong, because it's going to focus search too. I'm like, come on. So now I've got to take this thing out again. I'm thinking, okay, I've got 2 left here. I did a big skip of actually what happened, because this went on for another 5-10 minutes. of just me doing nothing. And finally I got a guillotine off here, and I took the Palmon out. So, but man, I nearly got done there like a dinner. Thank you to all the battle to my opponent, Alex. It was a very, very long section at the end there, like something else. So we got one more battle here with the new evolution team here. I'm trying to think of some other Pokemon that would be good for this. This is a battle against Dan, and we got, I think we got maybe a theme team here, I'm not sure. First Pokemon is going to be Mascaron. Man, Mascaron's got a pretty fire shiny. Like, look at that, it's like green, pinky red and stuff like that. So it being the lead, I knew they'd go for obviously a sticky web. So what I did here is I'm going to go for the agility. I'm going to try and get this twin beam swift Farigiraf going. So I actually got fairly unlucky here because this Masquerain, right, it had Stun Spore. Now this paralyzed me a lot throughout the battle. I'm actually really trying to think of a Pokemon. All right, I'm thinking of a couple of Pokemon. It would be cool to see, how about, I'm thinking like Pinsir, but then Pinsir's already got like, you know, it's already like, probably needs like more of like a baby Pokemon, you know? Like, I don't know. Like maybe a baby to Pinsir rather than an evolution. I don't know. I'm going to keep thinking about that, what evolution would be cool, like from an old Pokemon. So anyway, let's get back to this battle. Regardless, this, I got paralyzed here. I think I got maybe 3 or 4 in a turn. I just kept getting hit by water every single time. Like, you can imagine, you got paralyzed in real life, and you got this little moth just over the other side of the field, just constantly pummeling you with, like, buckets of water. So there's another one, you know? My attack is, you know, probably negative 100 right now. So now I'm going to go for agility. Like, this actually timed in quite well with the Tailwind, because that actually ran out, and I timed my last agility, and thank goodness I didn't get paralyzed there, and I took the Masker out with a Disrespect Swift. Next Pokemon is called Benny Bolt. I'm not sure. I think it might be a roast. I'm not sure. And it's going to go for Sucker Punch. I'm like, come on. Another priority move? Like, this is like the game telling me that you messed up big time. Now they're going to go for a Sucker Punch again. I don't know whether it even, like, sort of went through their mind there if I did have Armor Tail or not, but, you know, that's the end of Farigiraf. I literally had one with Armor Tail. I was like, okay, that's going to be it. But that's what happens. You have, you know, lots of Pokemon. So now I'm going to go for the Hyper Drill there, right in the middle of the Benny Bolt, or the Belly Bolt. And it's not going to do too much damage. So now they're going to go for a Soak. So I definitely know what they're going to do here. They're going to turn me into Water type and then hit me with an Electric type move. I'm going to get absolutely destroyed. Now, speaking of Pokemon, I reckon a good plushie would be Belly Bolt, right? Like a life-size Belly Bolt. What you could do, it'd be similar to Snorlax. You could have like a massive beanbag of Belly Bolt, right? You know, I wouldn't be surprised if one actually exists already, and then you could lie on the Belly Bolt beanbag. That'd be really, really cool there. So it's a physical set, obviously, and they're going to go for a Spark there. So Spark actually did a lot of damage to me. I was a little bit scared of the Sucker Punch there, and I nearly actually did swap, but thank goodness, I guess they expected me to maybe go for that. In comes Orthworm. It's going to be a special that go for the Flash Cannon. That does pretty good damage considering how bad Orthworm's special attack actually is. You know, I've used one before and it's terrible. Actually, that's a really, really cool when it uses Flash Cannon. Sort of looks like it's firing it out of its little, I don't know what you call it. They're not legs, are they? Oh, I guess they are legs, but it's a worm. Anyway, I'm very, very confused. So now it's going to be paralyzed by the Body Slam, and now I'm trying to get the flinch with Astonish at the same time. So it's going to have Potato Berry as the item, which is pretty cool, and it's going to get paralyzed there. I can finish off with a final Disrespect Astonish, and that is the end of the Orthworm. So that's half the team gone. Now this was a really, really long section of the battle. Out comes Believer. So straight up I get a paralyzed, which is really good, which has kind of caused such a long section of this battle. Now bear in mind I had to speed this section up by about 4 or 5 times. So things are going to be going quite fast here, but let me explain what's happening. So, as you can see here, I was going for like all flinching moves I possibly could. The problem is, I was doing pretty good damage, but since our Bolivia had the Seed Sower and Leech Seed, it was healing back a fair bit here, so I need to get lots and lots of damage. Then the Bolivia managed to get through all the scum, and it got the Leech Seed off. So I'm like, oh, that really sucks, because now it's going to get 3 3 ways of actually healing itself off, and it's going to be doing damage to my Dundunsparce at the same time. So basically, my Dundunsparce was on borrowed time, so I did as much damage as I could as possible. I actually got a couple of paralyzers there without even going for a flinching move, which is pretty cool. Finally, I believe it's going to finish him off with a Terrain Pulse there. So that's the end of my Dundunsparce. So I've got 2 more Pokemon left, and I was like, you know what I'm going to do here? I'm going to swap in King Toilet and go for a Guillotine, because at this stage, this thing is, it's pretty bulky, right? And I'm thinking to myself, they're probably going to go for a Leech Shed against me too, so it doesn't really matter. So I go for the Guillotine there. It missed, it is what it is. And they went for Mirror Coat. I was like, okay, it was good that I wasn't running a special set, because that would have been nasty. Wait a second, it wouldn't have even worked because I'm a Dark type. So that's a funny thing about Mirror Coat. I mean, I guess it makes sense, right? Because it is a Dark type versus a Psychic type moves, like, using Counter on a Ghost type. But anyway, Leech Seed actually missed a couple of times there, which is pretty lucky, and I managed to land a Guillotine in the meantime. So anyway, we harvested a couple of olives there from Arbolivia, and I got this a question of the day too. Do you like olives? Yes or no? Let me know in the comment section. I mean, if I had to pick between a pickle and an olive, it would be an olive every single time. Anyway, we got Wugtrio Final Gambit coming in there, and it almost took out my Kingambit with Final Gambit, but with Wugtrio, it doesn't have a lot of help, but it did a pretty good amount of damage there. I was very, very close to actually swapping in Annihilape there, and I was a bit of a shame that I didn't. Next Pokemon is Katana Guy, and it's going to be a Terra here. So, like, I don't know what sort of set this is going to be, but I'm sure it's going to fire and a Ghost type move. So my last 2 Pokemon, they're probably going to struggle with this a lot. So here we go here. I'm thinking it's going to be either a meme set, and it's like, oh no, it's Sweat. So that's going to be the end of my Kingambit there. It's going to die to a Bitter Blade. Obviously, the critical hit didn't matter there. Bisharp was done. I was walled there anyway, so I couldn't swap. Last Pokemon is going to be the Annihilape. I'm like, all right, this has to have some sort of Ghost type move. What do I do here? I've lost my speed, but I gained Defiant. At this point, I was like, you know what I'm going to do? It might be able to outspeed me. Let's go for Endure. Let's see what they're going to use. So they use Psycho Cast. Like, oh, that didn't do too much for me because I was running max health. So I'm like, now do I go for Endure again? I doubled up on the Endure, and I got really, really lucky there with that shot. It's like, you watch Psycho Cut crit me here, and it didn't crit me. I was like, oh, at least I got down to my Sully Brew, though. So now what I can do is I can get a +1 in speed, and hopefully I could outspeed here with a Ray Trace, and I did, and that was going to easily be enough to take out the Cerulege. I thought I might have a Focus Ash because, they've been trolling me the whole time, but what a crazy battle there. Hope you enjoyed it, people, and I'll catch you next time. Peace out.